We're live!
Oh my God. Hello, everybody.
We didn't see you there. How is everybody doing?
Yeah, we're already more than halfway through the season 4 of Outlander.
Yes, we are.
So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, this episode is called Blood of My Blood, and it's pretty good.
It was a pretty deep one.
Yeah, it was very emotional.
Yeah, like not a lot of big plot things happened, but it was a lot of, just like emotional time and like remembering old people that came back. So I guess on that note, can dive right in.
Yes. So John Grey shows up to see Jamie, and he brought Willie. If you remember, Willie is actually Jamie's son. And John is the supposed father of William, like the typical father, and William has no idea. And the last time they saw each other, William was like 3, and Jamie was like heart-wrenched when he had to say goodbye to him. He thought he would never see him again. So this is quite a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole episode is kind of focused on like, why are they there?
Yeah,
because
there's a lot of questions here, like, why did you stop by? And you're on your way to Virginia. We're in North Carolina. Why are you stopping here?
Yeah, and Claire is actually the one who gets to the bottom of that.
Yes, she is.
Interestingly enough.
she finds William by the creek before she even knows who William is, and before she knows that John Grey is at her house. Yeah, and he has leashes all over him, and she's helping him, and he sounds like a little bit of a spoiled little brat. Like, I want my papa.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't want these on me. And she's like, no, they're actually not so bad. And he's like, I want them off. Get them
he's
off.
like, he's a special boy. He was
raised in England.
He's privileged.
So. So and Murtaugh's there to help. And
Claire finds out that John's wife is dead.
Yeah, Isabel.
And so William's mother is gone. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Then Willie comes in with, and he doesn't recognize Jamie at all. Jamie's like, do you remember me? I've met you before. And he's like, no, not really.
Well, he doesn't actually ask him that. He just, because Jamie's trying to put on that face of like, no, we don't know each other. We don't know each other. Yeah. And then Willie's actually the one who figures it out. He does recognize Jamie later. I think from
I do remember seeing you around. And then John asks, he asks to keep it a secret.
Yeah,
basically.
So basically, he comes across Murtaugh, who was also in the prison, the debtor's prison, with Jamie. And so he knew of, and this was back when John Grey was the commander in charge there. And so Murtaugh actually didn't know, I guess, that John Grey helped Jamie out with his parole, getting him out of the prison, and actually helped Murtaugh. Like, is part of the reason that Murtaugh got sent as an indentured servant to the Americas. So Murtaugh's actually in debt.
Riots. And then, oh my gosh, the dog is climbing on things. Then he sort of storms out in a way, Murtaugh. Like, he's just kind of like, we don't agree on this. I'm leaving. Thank you for dinner. Like, okay.
I don't think he even thanks them for dinner. He just leaves.
I think he did. He at least said that. He's like, it's a pleasant evening. Like, even though it wasn't. And William then does remember Jamie, and he gets like upset. And
she's like, why didn't you tell me that we knew each other?
Yeah, like, if you why didn't you remind me of our acquaintance? And he's just like, well, stuff and things.
Yeah. I can't tell you that.
And then Claire is like all suspicious of John. She's like, are you here as a spy for the governor?
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe I drank too much wine, but are you accusing me of something here? And she's like, well, are you?
It's interesting that that's her first thoughts, like why he's there. And then she starts to learn later.
Yeah, then it's not the reason at all. No. We'll get into that later. But Murtaugh, he like confronts Jamie about being a friend of John's. He's like, kind of like, you traitor, you're like a redcoat, like, really?
Yeah.
And Jamie's like, well, he's like, well, he's not even your kin. And Jamie's like, well, what about the boy? What about the boy? He's like, why is this boy your responsibility? And he's like, oh, he's yours, isn't he? Yeah. Jamie's like, shh. Can't tell anybody because it'll ruin John's reputation. He'll be ruined, and like, I don't want the boy to like be confused and stuff. So like, and he's like, well, I'll keep your secret. I've kept all your secrets. So that's nice of him.
Yeah, and he kind of storms off in a huff about it. He's just like,
you didn't tell me.
Yeah, he's like, well, maybe someday you'll tell me about his mom, but unless that's a secret too, and just kind of storms off.
Jamie's like, okay then. And
we also didn't talk for like 20 years.
I know, right? Didn't think you'd see each other again. And then John like starts coming out with the measles like out of nowhere, and they're like, oh God. And William like fights Jamie when Jamie's like, we got to get you out of here. He's really contagious. Claire's, immune now, so she can take care of him, but we got to get out of here. We don't want to catch
this. Up to at least 6 days, she said. She's
6 days. So he's like, I don't want to do this. I don't know you. I don't want to leave my papa. And
understandable.
Fights him, makes him leave. And then Claire finds out some interesting things.
Yeah, a lot of things come out, I guess, when you're sick and you think you're dying.
Feverish. She's just like, I'm on my deathbed. Let me tell you why I'm really here. I'm in love with Jamie.
Yeah.
And she's like, whoa. And he's like, you're jealous, aren't you? And she's like, no, how dare you?
She's like, how dare you assume what I think and feel and whatever. And then later, when he recovers, she's like, yeah, you were right.
Yeah.
I was a little jealous.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Jamie is like teaching William how to like fish and hunt deer and stuff. And William just like bursts out crying. He's like, my dad's going to die. It's your fault because he wanted to like come and see you. And that just happened.
Yeah, it's understandable though. He's a kid. He doesn't know what's going on. He's scared. He just lost his mom. He's scared.
And he's like always trying to be like, I'm not a child. But he really is. And John tells Claire that Jamie like freaking offered himself to him years ago, and Claire was like,
"That's gonna come out later." That is my guess.
Like I almost forgot about all the issues with Jamie and like when he was like molested and like abused sexually, and
so
just,
he
like,
basically
he was.
Yeah, so he basically when he offered himself at that point to John, he was just like, "Well, I have nothing left to lose. It's happened to me before." Yeah. I've been taken against my will, so sure. Yeah.
It's just like, wow. Like, that's coming back up. Okay.
Yeah.
And then with Jamie and William like runs off, and then Jamie goes and finds him fishing across the territory where they were supposed to be, like across the boundaries. So they're into like native territory now. He's like, oh my God, what are you doing? He's like, I got us a fish to break off fast. And he's like, well, I told you not to do this. And then out of nowhere, like these Native Americans come and they're like, you took a fish from our river. Now we have to spill your blood.
First of all, I just have to say an issue that I have with that though, with the Cherokee there, is that remember last episode when they get mad,
water belongs to no one,
right? And now it's just like, you're on our land.
Yeah, like so what the hell? Like that's not
okay. You gotta pick and choose. Do you have some land, or is it everyone's? Because
it looks like it's just whenever it's their land, they're allowed to do that, but.
I mean, maybe there were strict boundaries that we just weren't aware of here, but I was just a little confused by that.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed because I thought that they were more like understanding than that, and we're trying to like fight that mentality. But they
did spare, so it looked as though they were about to kill him.
But literally, they said spill blood doesn't mean kill. But it was kind of nice because Jamie was like, "He's my son. Yeah, no, like let me spill the blood. It's my blood too. Let me spill the blood for him." And the kid was like, "What?" And then they're about to like. Look like they're gonna kill Jamie, and then the kid's like, no, wait, like he's not my father. He told me where the like boundaries were, and I disobeyed him. Like it's like I'm the only one who stole the fish. And then they act like they're about to kill him, and then they just go, and then like they take the axe and just nick his finger, and he bleeds a little bit, and they're like, okay, bye. That was it. This whole thing over that, like.
Well, Jamie kind of says, I think he says to William, like, I'm pretty sure they spared us because of you.
His bravery and his, like, honesty. Yeah.
So I think if William hadn't done that, they probably would have killed Jamie.
That seems a bit harsh for fishing.
Yeah, I guess.
And then they were, like, really, really, like, offended when they were threatened by the German guy. Right. When they were in his creek getting his water. And he's like, get off my land or I'm going to shoot. And they were like, what? Yeah. But they were about to kill Jamie for the same exact thing. It's kind of like,
I don't know. Maybe they learned that from.
They both apologize to each other, and then William and Jamie come back, and everybody's happy. And then William is like, take my chess set as like a thank you for staying here and whatnot. And
because if you remember, also like chess was a big thing with Jamie and John in the past. Whenever they would see each other. That was like what they did. They'd play chess, and that was kind of like their one little intimate activity they had. Yeah. So it's really sweet that John just gave that to him. Yeah. I think that was kind of his way of letting go of Jamie.
Yeah, and hopefully.
That's kind of, I don't know, that was the sense I got from this episode, that he was finally, and after his talk with Claire, that he's finally
he knows, like, because Claire told him, like, you do have a piece of Jamie with you. You have William. and you know, like you do have a piece of him with you wherever you go. And
yeah, because he admitted to Claire, like, it is so hard for me to see you with him.
Yeah,
and that's a really hard thing to admit to somebody.
Yes,
to someone's wife, really. So.
Yeah.
And she's yeah, right.
And she, you know, and Jamie did wish him happiness, and Claire wished him happiness. She's like, I hope that you're able to be content with your life, and like, and they just wish each other the best.
I'm sorry, like I think the saddest moment for me though was, you know, when he was having the fever, and she basically calls him out and says, like, I think you came here for Jamie, not for him to see William. Right. Like, I think you wanted to see Jamie.
You wanted to see Jamie.
And then he's just like, wow, you're the most straightforward person I've ever met.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you know, it's not my fault. I was born this way. And kind of walks away. And then it just kind of, you see this like zoom in on him crying. And he's like, so was I.
So was I.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it was a very sweet moment. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
He's a great actor.
But it just shows you again, like how really tough it was back then to be openly gay.
Yeah, it was impossible. And then as they're leaving, so Jamie had this like whole thing, what we forgot to mention, with like talking to William. This is the part that almost made me cry. Where like he was talking to William when they were like out camping, and Will was like, hey, so when I left you like years ago, I ran after you. Do you remember that you didn't look back at me? Why didn't you look at me? I ran after you. Why didn't you look back? And Jamie's kind of like, I was trying to save you from false hope. And I thought I would never see you again. Yeah. And I wanted to look back so bad, but I didn't. And then you see kind of a smile on William's face. And then when they when William and his dad are leaving, William looks back at Jamie. And it was so cute. Yeah. And like Jamie's just like, oh, like I hope they do see each other again. And I think they will. Like that was a really good moment.
Because that was basically his way of giving Jamie hope. Like maybe we will see each other again. Maybe and maybe like maybe he actually does know now that like Jamie's his dad.
I think he has an idea for sure, because Jamie blurted that out.
Yeah.
And then we go back to like sexy time with Jamie and Claire, like they do time and time again. He got her like that new ring, made my Murdoch, and the inscription says like, give me 1,000 kisses, and he says it to her, and they get more sexy time, and they're like whispering sweet nothings in each other's ears, and that's just kind of how the episode ended. We're like, okay, not much of a cliffhanger, but good old Jamie and Claire. And then the next time on, Brianna and Roger go back in time.
Oh my God. Well, we know for sure Brianna does.
I think Roger's going to also.
Yeah, because we see them together by the stones in some of those clips. So I'm like, is he going with, like, how did he catch her in time?
Right. And she's just like clearly like dressed up and like back in time. And she's like, there's a fire. I have to stop it. She probably sounds like a crazy person. But yeah, like I'm excited to see her in this time period. I'm so excited for her to meet Jamie.
I know.
That needs to happen so bad. Like,
I know.
Oh my God.
He needs to be able to just like live with his kid.
I know. He has 2 kids that he's not allowed to live with.
Yeah, it's so terrible.
Every child he's ever had has been taken by someone else. He's never gotten to like raise them. It's very sad. And he just needs to meet his child.
Yeah.
And then the villain for next week is going to be like Stephen Bonnet.
So we get to see him again.
Hooray.
So that it looked like from the clips that he is going to be taking Brianna on his ship. So I think she's going to have a run-in with him, which is going to be, oh no.
That's not going to be good.
No.
And Jamie's going to kill him.
Yeah, probably.
So tune in next week to find out. I can't believe next week is episode 7.
I know. Already. We're getting so close to the end.
It went by so fast.
But let us know if, we missed anything.
Yeah, what did we miss?
And
comment below. We'll read them.
How you feel about everything that's going on.
Yeah, Outlander. Make sure to like this video if you like Outlander. Yeah, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're always notified whenever we go live or post a new video.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. We love you. Bye.